Imagine spending 5 years of your life analyzing 600,000 genetic samples to figure out how old your cells really are. 5 years. That's 1,825 days of staring at spreadsheets that would make your eyes bleed. Now imagine an AI doing it in 3 weeks while you were binge watching Netflix. Welcome to 2025, where artificial intelligence just put aging research on fast forward, and scientists at Harvard are simultaneously excited and mildly terrified. Here's the thing. About aging research, it's painfully slow. And I mean that literally. You see, scientists have been trying to crack the aging code for decades, but there's a massive problem. We're drowning in data. We've got more genetic information than we know what to do with. It's like trying to find a specific grain of sand on a beach, blindfolded, during a hurricane. David Sinclair, the David Sinclair from Harvard, the guy who's basically the Gandalf of longevity research, his lab was facing this exact nightmare. They had over 600,000 RNA expression profiles to analyze. That's 600,000 genetic snapshots of how our cells age. To put that in perspective, if you spent just 1 minute looking at each profile, it would take you over a year of non-stop work. No sleep, no bathroom breaks, just you and genetic data having a very awkward relationship. And that's just looking at it. Actually understanding it, add another 4 years. Enter Cadence Beta. No, that's not a new protein shake. It's a multi-agent AI system from a startup called Biostate AI, and it just did something absolutely bonkers. Think of Cadence as less of a single AI and more like the Avengers of artificial intelligence. Except instead of fighting Thanos, they're fighting aging. And instead of Thor's hammer, they've got algorithms. Here's how it works. Cadence isn't just one AI doing everything. It's a team of specialized AI agents, each with their own job. One designs experiments, one interprets biological data,
one reviews scientific literature, one runs statistical analyses, one executes code, and one generates publication-ready reports. It's basically like having a research team that never sleeps, never complains about grant funding, and definitely never argues about whose turn it is to clean the lab fridge. But here's the really clever part. These AI agents cross-check each other's work. They're like that friend who always double-checks the restaurant bill because they don't trust math. Except in this case, it's to make sure they're not hallucinating scientific facts, which, let's be honest, is a real problem with AI these days. So Sinclair's lab gave Cadence a challenge. Build us a biological aging clock. Not the one on your wrist that tells you you're late for work. A biological clock that can tell how old your cells actually are, regardless of how many birthdays you've celebrated. Because here's a fun fact. Your driver's license might say you're 40, but your cells could be 50 or 30. It depends on your lifestyle, genetics, and how many times you've stressed eaten an entire pizza at 2 a.m. Cadence got to work, and in just a few weeks, it analyzed over 600,000 RNA profiles, filtered down to 60,000 high-quality samples, identified 5,000 key genes out of 50,000 possibilities, and built predictive models for biological age. And here's the kicker. It told researchers how confident it was in each prediction. That last part is huge. Most AI is like that overconfident friend who gives you directions without checking Google Maps. Yeah, turn left here. I'm pretty sure. Maybe. Okay, I have no idea. But Cadence actually says, hey, I'm 95% sure about this prediction, but only 60% sure about that one. It's uncertainty aware, which in science is basically like having superpowers. Sinclair himself said this work would normally take months or years. Cadence did it in weeks. That's not just faster, that's like comparing a horse-drawn carriage to a SpaceX rocket. But wait, there's a detail here that is absolutely wild. Cadence identified 5,000 key genes out of 50,000 possibilities. To put that in perspective, your body has about 20 to 25,000 genes total. This AI analyzed more genes than exist in your entire body and found patterns that human researchers missed for decades. Not because humans aren't smart, but because our brains literally cannot process 600,000 data points simultaneously. It's like looking at a Jackson Pollock painting up close. You see random splatters. But step back 10 miles, and suddenly you see the masterpiece. Humans don't have eyes that good. Cadence does.
All right, let's continue with the next section, why this matters. Okay, so why should you care that an AI can analyze genetic data at lightning speed? It's a fair question. Because aging, it isn't just about wrinkles and gray hair. It's the root cause of almost every major disease we face. Cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, they are all fundamentally diseases of aging. So if we can finally understand aging at the genetic level, we could potentially predict diseases before they even happen. We could develop treatments that attack the root cause, not just the symptoms. And maybe, just maybe, we could extend our healthy lifespan. But here's the problem. We've been moving at a snail's pace. There is a crisis in science, according to Biostate's own CTO. We have way too much data and not nearly enough brilliant minds to analyze it all. Imagine having a library with every book ever written, but you only have 3 librarians. Good luck finding what you need before you retire. This new AI, Cadence, is like hiring 10,000 librarians who work 24/7 and never need a coffee break. Suddenly, that impossible task becomes possible. And get this, Biostate claims Cadence didn't just do well, it outperformed GPT-4, the unreleased GPT-5, and even Claude 3.5 Sonnet in specific bioinformatics tests. That's like showing up to an Olympic race and beating Usain Bolt while you're wearing flip-flops. Now, before we get too excited and start planning our 200th birthday parties, let's pump the brakes for a second. This is still very early. Cadence Beta is only in testing with a few select partners. That incredible aging clock they built, it's published as a preprint. In science speak, that means we think this is really cool, but other scientists haven't had a chance to fully tear it apart yet. Plus, there's the whole debate around AI in science. Some top researchers are worried. They're concerned that an AI might make subtle mistakes that we don't catch, that we might not fully understand how the AI reached its conclusions, and that we could become so dependent on it that we lose our own critical thinking skills. It's like using GPS so much you completely forget how to read a physical map. Except in this case, the map is human biology, and getting lost could be a lot more problematic. But here's the counterargument. Cadence is designed from the ground up to be transparent.
It shows its work. It cites its sources. It's like that one student in class who doesn't just give you the answer, but shows you every single step of the calculation. And remember, it isn't replacing scientists, it's assisting them. Think of it like Iron Man's suit. Tony Stark is still the genius inside. The suit just makes him infinitely more effective. And let's be honest, way cooler. So what's next? Biostate AI just raised a cool $12 million and is expanding its partnerships with hospitals and pharma companies across the US, China, and India. Cadence isn't just for aging. It could accelerate cancer research, drug discovery, personalized medicine, and our understanding of thousands of rare diseases. Basically, any field that is drowning in biological data is about to get a life raft. And here's the wildest part. This is just the beginning. The current beta is running on Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro, but these AI models are improving at an exponential rate. A task that takes weeks today might take mere hours next year. We could be entering an era where scientific breakthroughs happen at a speed we can barely comprehend, where the time from an interesting discovery to a life-saving treatment shrinks from decades to just a few years. Imagine if we'd had this technology during the early days of COVID or cancer research. How many lives could have been saved? So here's where we stand. An AI just compressed 5 years of complex aging research into 3 weeks. Harvard scientists are on record saying they're impressed. And we are one giant leap closer to understanding why our bodies decide to fall apart after just a few decades. Is this the key to extending human life? Maybe. Will we all live to be 150? Probably not anytime soon. But are we moving faster than ever before? Absolutely. The race against aging just got a serious upgrade.